In Part 5, Potterton and Schofield explained the differences between the research paradigms of school effectiveness and school improvement. They suggested that the school improvement approach was far more interested in how schools changed. We now explore two different strategies for school improvement. We call one a school as organization approach, and the other a school as community approach.
The whole approach to school change and school development in the developing world is to use schools, yes, as levers for community development, to make sure that first thing you do is stabilize teaching. But what comes next? We've got 60% unemployment sitting around our school. We've got 5 unemployed parents on our school governing body. How do we use that energy? We've got those children going home to those very communities. How do we mobilize the energy in those communities? The school community approach really consists of 2 things. First, an approach to dealing with people as human beings. By not coming at people with an understanding of an organization or a section of an organization, without having any predetermined agendas, the school community development approach starts to develop organic leaders. Also, the school community approach tries to move towards community development.
Okay, I think one of the key things that teachers need to do if they want to change their school, improve their school, is to have a plan, to have a vision of what they want to do. That's the key thing. The other thing is I think it's got to be related to the main activity of the school, which is really teaching and learning. And so if you've got those 2 components, I think you can begin to change a school. I think that the tools that have been developed in organizational theory are quite useful. Now, they shouldn't be seen as an end in themselves, but they have to be taken beyond that. You've got to look at relationships in the school. So, for example, to get a staff together to think about what the school's purpose is and to develop a mission statement is not a bad thing, because it brings people together and gets them talking. It produces a mission statement. The important thing isn't the mission statement. The important thing is that you're getting people talking. And again, to have a school development plan is not a bad thing. It can set targets, it can set time frames, but the important thing is that it actually mobilizes the community to do something.
I completely agree with Mark if our focus is only on education. But here is a school, for example, where a 2-year-old girl is raped by a 7-year-old boy during the matric exams outside that school. You are a second-year teacher in that school. What is your response in that kind of a situation? That's fairly regular. That the key thing that teachers must do is carefully listen and observe what is happening in this school and know that that is their strategy, that is their hidden curriculum.
Community involvement is important, but I think there's a danger of losing focus. I would say you've got to focus on teaching and learning, but you've also got to have a concern for the well-being of your students. You've also got to have a concern for the authority in the school, that you can discipline a child that maybe commits a felony, whatever. But I would say you can't ignore the environment in which the school is located. I think if society is racked by violence and poverty, it does have an impact on the school. And I think it's unfair to expect schools to change society. But I would say the focus of the intervention must be teaching and learning.
It seems that Potterton and Schofield have differences as to what the priority should be at the school level. But how does one explain these contrasts? What are the key differences between these approaches? Should schools play a role in stabilizing their communities? Is it not the other way around? Is this really the role of the school? What is your view as a teacher? While you think about these issues, turn to section 4.5 and complete activity 24.